Every year, it feels like Apple and Samsung are running the same race. But this time, they've taken completely different routes. One went futuristic and bold, the other stayed familiar and refined. And somehow, both might be right. iOS 26 and One UI 8 are rewriting how your phone feels in your hand, not just how it looks on screen. Hey everyone, James here. Welcome back! If you're new, make sure to hit like, share this with your tech-loving friends, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Because today's comparison might just surprise you. Let's start with the thing you notice first. The visuals. Apple's new liquid glass design looks like it was made for a sci-fi movie. Everything feels alive. Glowing edges, transparent layers, and those buttery, smooth animations that react to your every move. But while Apple's showing off with motion and glow, Samsung's sticking to confidence. One UI 8 refines what already worked: practical layouts, balanced blur effects, and sharp focus on usability. It's like one went for art and the other doubled down on comfort. Now here's where it gets interesting. Apple made its navigation bar float. It reshapes itself as you scroll, creating this illusion that your screen is breathing. Samsung, meanwhile, said, "Why change what's already good?" and kept its solid, stable bottom bar. Apple's version looks futuristic, but sometimes it's too transparent. Notifications can literally blend into your wallpaper, while Samsung keeps things crystal clear, even if it's a bit less flashy. But when you zoom out and look at the overall polish, Apple nailed consistency. Every menu, every button, every animation feels like part of the same story. Samsung's still catching up there with a few uneven fades and spacing hiccups here and there. Yet, somehow, Samsung's practicality saves the day. It may not always look perfect, but it works perfectly. Now let's talk about the lock screen, where Apple completely flexed this year. The music player now takes over the screen with full album art, and the way it animates. It's stunning. Samsung didn't change much here, but it still offers far more freedom with customization. You can move clocks anywhere, adjust their style, and add widgets however you like. Apple's approach is more controlled but visually elegant, with that signature depth effect that layers your wallpaper behind the time like a movie scene. And then come the widgets. This is where Apple shocked everyone. For the first time, iOS feels more customizable than Android. You can stretch, shrink, and reposition almost everything. Samsung still gives you more overall freedom, but Apple's execution feels smoother. Everything snaps perfectly into place. Samsung's version, while powerful, still has that tiny inconsistency between apps and themes that Apple simply doesn't. The control centers also tell two different stories. Apple's one looks like it was poured out of liquid glass, soft, glowing, alive. Samsung's is more functional, less dramatic, but still clean and organized. Rearranging toggles is simpler on iOS now, but Samsung's depth of control, especially with tools like Good Lock, is still unbeatable for power users. Now here's the twist. Samsung's animation game just leveled up. One UI 8 feels more fluid than ever, with smoother transitions and subtle blurs that finally make it look premium. For once, Samsung's interface moves with the same calm confidence Apple is known for. But Apple's not sitting still. It made its animations faster and snappier, creating this weird situation where Android now feels more Apple, and iOS feels more Android. It's like the two swapped identities. When it comes to functionality, Samsung still plays the long game. Its AI tools feel like a part of the phone, not an extra feature. From real-time translation and writing assist to AI image cleanup, these things actually save time. Apple Intelligence is still learning to walk. Impressive ideas, but not fully baked yet. Samsung's AI feels ready today. Then there's the creativity side. Samsung Notes now lets you write formulas by hand and solves them instantly using AI. Apple does this too, but only inside its new calculator app. It's like both companies are borrowing from each other, one step at a time. Even Apple's redesigned camera interface took some cues from Samsung, moving controls below the shutter button. Still, Samsung's Pro and Pro video modes make it clear this phone is made for creators. Samsung also added playful touches Apple would never do, like customizable 3D call backgrounds and the new No Brief assistant that talks you through your morning with news, weather, and even YouTube suggestions. Apple's notification summary looks elegant but feels cold by comparison. Now here's where things flip again. Apple's ecosystem integration is still magic. From iPhone to MacBook to Watch, it all feels like one living system. Samsung's ecosystem is more open and flexible, but when you pair it with a Windows laptop, the design and feel start to drift apart. Apple's seamless transitions between devices remain unmatched, even if Samsung offers more raw tools. In privacy and security, Apple remains the gold standard. Tighter controls, instant updates, and fewer backdoors. Samsung's Knox is exceptional, especially for pros and businesses, but it needs a few manual setups to reach Apple's default privacy level. And then the most underrated part, usability. iPhones are beautiful to use, every swipe and gesture feels intentional, but Samsung gives you the power to truly own your device. You can change almost anything: themes, icons, fonts, layouts, even move entire apps into pop-up windows. One feels perfect out of the box, the other lets you make it perfect your way. So, who's really winning? It depends on what you want from your phone. iOS 26 is the most visually refined and fluid version Apple's ever made. Futuristic, artistic, and immersive. One UI 8 is the most advanced, feature-packed software Samsung's ever released. Practical, powerful, and intelligently personal. It's not just iPhone vs Galaxy anymore. It's style vs substance. And this year, both brands are playing at their absolute best.